Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the newest episode of Avillion and Brayden Talks.
Hello.
We're in the thick of off seasons. Stuff's been going on in the NBA. We're going to be talking about the NFL once again today. But before we get into anything else, firstly, I'm joined as always with my co-host, Avillion Talks. Buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. What do you call it? I checked my mail yesterday when I got home, and I saw one of my neighbors feeding a squirrel, and that shit was beautiful. Like, I don't know. He was about to start. He was like, he had just checked his mail. He was walking away, and the squirrel walked up to him. I guess he had something. He was like, "Come here, buddy," and the squirrel walked right up to him, grabbed it from his hand, and walked away. And I thought, like, I'm about to fucking cry. That's incredible. Today. So I discovered I need to go back to the gym. Today, I went to the Plasma Donation Center after work, and there was a new phlebotomist training. So they were getting trained by another guy. And when it was time for them to check my blood pressure, he was like, "You only need the bigger cuff when somebody has like really big arms. I don't think this guy needs the bigger cuff." And out loud, I was like, "Damn!" Like, this man just gave me body dysmorphia, bro. What the fuck?
The one positive about getting my blood taken or anything like that is when they're like, "Oh, you have really nice veins." I get
That's
that compliment,
nice.
and I'm like,
Now
trying to
he
fuck
did.
me? What are you talking to me like that for?
He did say, he was like, "Yeah, sometimes I say something and I realize it could absolutely be taken another way afterwards. I'm sorry." And I was like, "Dog, I'm just joking. Like, it's okay." But still, like, I've never heard that before because he's training somebody. He's like, "Yeah, you only really need the big cuff when they have like really big arms. I think this guy just needs the regular one." And I'm like, "All right, I get it. Because there was absolutely a time in which they would have seen me and been like, "I think this guy needs the bigger cuff." You know what I mean? So like, I got to get back to it. That, and also like I've definitely been thinking lately, like I need to break up the monotony somehow of like my day to day, because it does kind of just feel samey a lot right now, and I need more. I need to do more for myself, just for shits and giggles. So um, I should start working out again. Absolutely, I think that'd be really good for me right now. So I'm gonna get on that.
Yeah,
But
the best part of my job is having that gym right across the street and working out during
I
lunch.
I have one on the way home from work, directly on the way home from work. It is not out of the way even remotely. It is not even like a left turn on the same road. It is a right turn. I will leave work, I will get on the main road, I can turn into the gym real quick, come out, be right directly on my way home. Nothing crazy about it. Super easy. So I need to start doing that again. And yeah, I think that's where my head's at. So, but other than that, I'm doing well. I went to my mom's this past weekend. I'm going to my mom's again on tomorrow for the 4th. Bowie just had his gotcha day. I adopted Bowie just over a year ago, a year and 2 days ago. So I got him a new bed, which I assembled last night. It's over there behind my bed. You guys can't see it. And I got him a new cat tree, which just arrived today. I'll have to build that one after we're done here. But I'm really excited for that. It's got multiple levels of elevation. I only have one cat tree right now, and it's just one. Like, there's a base, there's a little scratch tower, and then there's a little circular thing that he likes to lay in, and that's it. So it was very simple. I just got it for him when he was a little kitty. I haven't been able to get him one since. I got him a nice one. So hopefully he likes it. I think he will. And I will also, sometime this evening, I think I'll be taking a walk, because I haven't done that in a while, and they always hit. So I love taking late night walks around my apartment complex. So I'm gonna do that tonight. But the floor is yours, sir. How have you been? What you got going on? How you doing?
Let's see. My sister and her baby are pulling up this evening. I think my mom said they probably would get here around 7:30 my time. So that's going to be happening for 4th of July. Tomorrow, we're having the 4th of July party. It's mostly family, a couple family friends, and we're going to be playing this game that I've played for years now, Werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun. It's like Mafia, just There's one werewolf amongst, or depending on how big the group is. This
Yeah.
group will probably be big enough for multiple werewolves, but a couple werewolves in the group. They kill one person at night. Town wakes up. And they have to vote somebody off.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Okay, I remember playing Mafia at least.
Yeah, and there's tons of different roles. And what I'm going to be doing is, so usually it's just kind of the same stuff of like, we're in like an old timey village, like Dark Ages, Middle Ages type village with werewolves. And we just kind of freestyle everything. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sitting down and I'm going to be coming up with scenarios for them to be in and improv too, pretty much. I'm gonna put them in a corporate office setting with a werewolf there and have them play different characters I create.
I fucks with that.
And what I'm gonna do, I think what I'm gonna do for the corporate office setting is that they're not, because usually they're aware that werewolves are amongst them. For this one, I'm gonna be playing like the boss, like the CEO, as I moderate the game. Yeah. And I'm gonna be like trying to do like a corporate cover up of the werewolves.
Okay.
And just be like, hey, you guys need to eliminate a coworker here, vote them off, get rid of them.
Yeah.
We're downsizing. But yeah,
something like that.
I think it'd be pretty fun.
I think that's.
But yeah, it's going on. I finally have sat down and I've started working on the Transformers video game.
Awesome.
In those early years, not much Optimus Prime and Bumblebee in the video games.
What? Speaking of Transformers, another thing I'm doing this weekend, my friend has a 50% off Papa John's gift card that expires at the end of the month. And him and I just watched all the Pirates movies together recently. Mm-hmm. We're watching Transformers this weekend.
Oh, yeah. So, I sat down a couple months, or not sat down, but over the course of like a week or two, I watched all the Transformers movies.
So, yeah, we're putting that shit on. I don't know what day exactly. I got to get with them later today, probably, just to make the plans official. But yeah, sometime this weekend.
Like the Bayverse ones.
Yeah, like
my favorite characters are the two extremely racist stereotype Autobots.
In fact, today actually is the 17th birthday of the first Bayverse movie of Transformers. Today's its 17th birthday.
So as far as Michael Bay is concerned, old enough to be sexualized on screen. As far as Michael Bay is concerned.
Megan Fox was in the first movie. Yep, that's true. Yeah. So, yep, something like that. Oh my God, there was like a director or something, Neil something or other, who was like accused of. Hang on. Pardon me a moment.
Then I'll just go ahead and give us the girl boss answer.
Yeah. You go ahead.
Affirmation.
Yep.
An interviewer asked, "What would you say is the most overrated virtue?" And Audrea Dworkin said, "Compliance and conformity."
She's cooking.
Be yourself. Lead your own path. Type shit.
She is cooking. I'm 100% with on that. That's one of my favorite ones so far. In fact, Neil Gaiman. Mm-hmm. Which let me look see what he actually does. Somebody just sent this to a group chat that I'm in, but he's a film guy. I was discussing film that posted this. Okay, he's a writer. Yeah, he's an author, and he writes comic books too. Okay, makes sense. Okay, so he's 63 years old.
He's 63 years
old.
A red flag.
He was. I mean, imagine being 63. What the fuck's wrong with you? Now, was accused of sexual assault by two women. One of them was a former nanny. I guess a nanny of like one of his kids or some shit. Like I don't know. Former nanny. It just said. And then another one was an 18-year-old fan who said that they had like really rough sex that she neither like wanted nor appreciated. And his defense was that both acts were consensual.
Right.
The problem with you having rough sex with an 18-year-old at the age of 63 is not that it's illegal. It's the fact that you're 63 and she's 18, and it's just kind of fucking weird. Like
also, 18-year-old fan of some random writer?
Somebody like comic book writer. Yeah, like if you're a big...
He must be penning some really good shit if he's having...
Yeah, I'd imagine he's probably pretty good fucking... But like...
It just blows my... I just can't imagine being like, oh yeah, I'm a fan of... Well, like obscure... I've never heard of him. It's not like you're like, oh, I like Jeff Johns.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but I mean, it's the idea. Like, I get it. Yeah, it's not illegal, but that doesn't make it not weird at the same. And like,
It's
I don't like
gross.
that. I don't like that defense because it's like, okay, what if the age of consent was 17? What if the age of consent was 16? Would you still be saying it's legal? Like, where do you draw the
Yeah.
line in terms of legality? Like, I think there are like. You and I have talked about it before, especially when you work a blue collar job. That just the revolting shit you hear your coworkers. Oh, that's a fine piece of jailbait right there. Like, the word jailbait is fucking disgusting.
Yep.
Like, who came up with that shit? Like, I think there are a good chunk of men. I'm not going to put any number out there, but there are a good chunk of fellas who, like, if the age of consent was like 15, 14, they wouldn't see an issue, quite frankly. And there is a scary number. I don't know how high the number is, but I know it's a scary ass number of people who would be totally okay with it if it was legal. The only barrier between some of these folks and teenagers is the law.
Yeah.
Not any sense of morality. It's the law. It's the law. And that's why I don't like the defense of, well, she was 18. Like, okay, if somebody was like 24 with an 18-year, okay, maybe it's a little like, okay, it's still like a little. I wouldn't personally. I'm 21. I wouldn't even have sex with an 18. I mean, I have a girlfriend, but if I was single, I would still be like, you got to be like at least 20. But like, I wouldn't crucify somebody for it. But like, I don't know. The older you get, the weirder it is for you to be like, okay,
Yeah.
what exactly are you attracted to about somebody who's that young?
I was wondering where the cutoff is, like genuine,
Yeah.
like of 18. I think 21 is fine. I don't know, 18
I
and
think it's
21.
fine.
There's
I think
such
it's
a
fine. Like,
range of like the maturity of both of those.
Right. Well, and it is a case by case basis because
Yeah.
dating in your 20s in general is all about an imbalance of maturity. Dating in your early 20s, especially, like, like you could have somebody who's 18, but like they were forced to grow up super fucking quickly just because they had maybe their family had poor financial situation or they were helping pay the bills all throughout their last like 3 years of high school and that sort of thing. Like, and they I don't know. There's ways in which somebody who's younger of legal age, who is younger could be more emotionally mature than somebody in their early 20s, right? Like, it's a case by case basis. But if you're like at some point, like if you're like 27
Yeah.
and you're like, hey, she's 18, she ain't 17. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think that's nah. I'm not with you on that one. I don't remember how we got here exactly. But
I made the Michael Bay joke.
you did. Oh yes, yeah, that's right. That's right. You made the Transformers is old enough to be sexualized. So are we transitioning to
and then
the topic?
No, because
Okay, not quite. Okay,
I had something I wanted to say, but it's like leaving me. It's like it like left me, and it's like
Sorry.
barely coming back.
Sorry.
It was like they'll try to have I was gonna say they might try to have the defense of like, well, actually a woman is fully developed by whatever age, and it's like physically possibly, but mentally no, and there's still this like imbalance of your age with the life experience you've had with this individual.
Women physically do mature faster than men, but also the brain itself still isn't fully developed by anybody until like 25.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes a while. So, and even then, there is a difference in life experience. If you've been out of high school for a couple months and you're talking to somebody who's been out of high school for like 6 years, there's an imbalance there. You know what I mean? Like, even me, like I wouldn't think anybody else was like super weird for it. Again, if I was single, I wouldn't even be wanting to mess around with an 18-year-old because I'm thinking like you were a freshman in high school when I was a senior, and like that would have been weird for me. And I'm good. I'm good.
And I know I know you're talking about the scenario right now, but there is a point where you stop having to think like that because
like if
you're
I see
28 and their
24-year-old friend is like, oh yeah, my girlfriend's 21, I'm not gonna bat an eye. I don't give a fuck. Like, my girlfriend's gonna be 23 while I'm still 21. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see this. She's a year and a half older than me, which would have been fine, years ago. But I'm just saying, in general, like, her 23rd birthday's in October. I don't turn 22 until April of next year, But it is what it is. Like, But you know, like I said, if I had a friend who was 24, he was like, "Yeah, I just talking to this girl right now. She's 21." I'm not going to be like, problematic age difference there, sir. No, because they're both in their 20s at this point. Like, I don't see the issue. But somebody's still in their teens, and you're like already in your like mid 20s.
Yeah.
And then 63, that's a whole different conversation. They were
But
like, "They assaulted me." Oh, actually, it was consensual. You're still 63, fucking an 18-year-old. That's not normal. That's
have
not
a more
good.
positive thing before we get
Yeah.
into the running backs.
That is a spoiler alert, but yeah, that is what we're doing today. You got a new. Oh, crispy. My friend,
It squirted.
I was excited to see you.
It's
I have a familiar yet slightly fresh face today. I got the strawberries and cream on deck. I am a little lad who loves berries and cream.
berries and cream.
Not as crisp as I wanted it to be, but it's okay. Maybe next week. That shit is so good, man. It's been too long since I've had a Dr. Pepper on the pod. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe I just needed a Dr. Pepper.
Maybe.
I read something recently, actually, that I want to talk about real quick before we go any further. I read something. And immediately I was like blown away. And this is kind of how
blown.
God, I wish. I want to I want to start thinking this way. And I read somebody, they said, I'm starting to live life as if I've already died. And I asked God to send me back so that I could, do all the things again, like make mistakes, get my heart broken, go grocery shopping 1,000 more times, whatever. And like, I'm thinking, I was thinking earlier today, I was really having a hard time after like right around the time I drove home from work about like I was talking about the like breaking up the monotony of everything. And I'm like, there are so many aspects of life that I would love to fall in love with that I just find so incredibly tedious. And no matter what I do, I can't escape the fact that I find them tedious. And I'm thinking today, well, if I died right now, would I beg to go back to experience that again? And the answer is yes. Like, I love cooking for other people. I fucking hate cooking for myself. I'm just being honest. Like, whenever I have somebody over, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna chef this shit. Whenever I'm by myself, I don't want to cook most of the time. And if I died, would I give like anything to go back just to cook for myself one more time? Yes. Just to enjoy the mundane once more. Like, yes. Yes, I would. And so, I don't know, like, perspective matters. Perspective is super important, which I've said many times before, but like, sometimes it's easy to forget when you feel trapped in a bit of like a cycle in terms of how, what life is looking like. And it's a lot easier to break up the monotony when you have money, because you can just travel on a whim.
Oh yeah, dude.
I don't got it like that yet. So I also read today that a lot of Americans feel like they're just like temporarily embarrassed millionaires, and I think that so much of our culture is enveloped in like wealth that there is some truth to that. Like some folks, that is kind of how they look at things, and there is definitely a certain amount of wealth envy baked into our culture, and so much of our culture in general revolves around money, and it's a bit annoying, but I think it would certainly be easier to, like change shit up if you just had a spare couple bands lying around, like fuck it, I'm taking a week off work and I'm going to Cabo and I'm gonna feel great. Like
right now, I'm saving up for a Japan trip at some point in my life. If I've got a little fund that I've been building, every check, put a little money aside.
Yeah.
I will be going to Japan.
That when I turn 18, I'm moving to Japan. You know them? You remember them kids?
No.
We had a couple. Of those when you and I were in school together. We had a couple of those.
Oh, I thought this was like a specific reference. No, okay, yeah.
No. I was just mean it's those kids at school in general who smell terrible, who always talk about, oh, the minute I turn 18 and when I graduate, I'm moving my ass to Japan. Like, well, I think they were all a little disappointed when the age of consent laws went from 13 to 16. But they might be moving back now afterwards. I don't know. But anywho, I'm ready to talk about running backs.
So am I. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be ranking top 10 running back. I have zero faith in my list. I'm gonna be honest. Some of this is like what they've done. Some of this is projection. Some of this is, I guess it's projection, but I mean specifically more of a player coming back to what they have been, which is risky for the running back position, especially. But just gonna run it here. So I'm thinking we do the same thing we've done before.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Say the name. And if we say the same one, we just move on.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to start?
I'm ready. Let's get it.
Number
going.
1. The number 1 running back in the NFL. 3, 2, 1. McCaffrey.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's our fantasy darling right there. I don't think we need to talk about that one.
Fantasy king. All right. Number 2. This on.
I thought about this one for a while.
2 came to me pretty quick, and I was like, fuck it, we run it. But we'll see. 2 on could be, there's so many names, like you could just kind of interchange here. But 2 on, all right, starting off with number 2, 3, 2, 1, Bijan.
Derrick Henry. Whoa.
I feel like if he's given the opportunity, I think if I look at play, like just on a per play basis, when given the opportunity, I think Bijan's that guy.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't hate that in the slightest. And in terms of like projection, I really wanted to put Bijan a lot higher than I did. And I think this year he is going to fucking explode. But also there are just a lot of known commodity. In fact, I'm going to do something. We'll talk about it later. I'm going to do something.
Okay. I mean, I've mostly already said my piece about Bijan. I feel like anybody who's seen him play understands where I'm coming from at a minimum. Even if you don't agree with him at 2, you get the thought process for him at number 2. But yeah, he's great. New offensive coordinator. That's why I really feel like I might be able to put him here. I think he'll just get featured a bit more.
Yeah. So I'm thinking for Henry, it was tough to pick a number 2 because it almost feels like there is no concrete number 2 right now. CMC is definitely a league of his own.
It is. I had this feel. I was thinking about this. I was like, when looking at like number 1 running back versus number 1 wide receiver and so on, I think the ones for both are like comparable in terms of like just what they are in regards to their position, how great they are. But right after that, there's like a huge drop off in running backs compared to wide receivers.
Yeah, it is insane. No,
like the number 3 wide receiver is like, that's an incredible player. Number 3 running back, you're like, this is a really good player who maybe if they're in the right situation could be this guy. It's just different.
Yeah, my number 3 running back, spoiler alert, is a guy who did not have a great year last year, who I just think is going to bounce back really well. But
that guy, based on the vibes, I think that might be my number 4.
For Derrick Henry, I love him obviously, but at the same time, he's a 2-down player. You'd think a guy his size would be a better pass blocker. He's just not that great of a pass blocker. He's grown as a receiver with his hands, but he's obviously just way too stiff to be a route runner. Like, that's not he's great in the screen game. You can toss some screens all day. You can toss some swings, little like flats, whatever, like any kind of that shit. Like anything that still has him behind the line of scrimmage, go for it. Other than that, you're not getting a whole. He had like one like actual snag last year, and I couldn't fucking believe it. I thought it was so funny. He actually had to like go up and get it and pull it in. Like, that was hilarious. But generally speaking, you're getting a great running back with Derrick Henry, and I'm excited to see him behind a better offensive line, because on well blocked runs, just purely as a runner, he might just be the best for that, because he is really hard to take down once he actually gets moving. But also at this point in his career, he has lost a step. He's not slow, but he's not the burner that he was, like a couple of years ago, like a literal moving freight train. He's slowed down a tad bit. So it'll be interesting to see. But I still think he's the second best in the league. I still trust him more to carry a workload than anybody else. and that's why. But anybody else was McCaffrey, and that's why he's my number 2.
That's a fair point. All right,
Yep.
number 3. Where'd they go? All right. All right. Number 3. 3, 2, 1. Brees Hall.
Josh Jacobs did not have his best year last season.
Wow.
However, I am expecting a seismic return to form with the Packers this year, and I can't wait to see it, quite frankly. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I don't know. I've seen Brees Hall play a bit. I'm ready for another season of him, hopefully with a more improved offensive line that could help him out a bit better.
He did that coming off an ACL tear, too.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's impressive. As a running back, that is incredible.
Just seeing like the speed that he still has after that injury is incredible. I just and then I'm looking at the Jets offense and I'm like, okay, Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams for a couple games.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be able to get the workload needed. Well, maybe I think no one's really getting workhorsed anymore. But I think by today's NFL standards, he'll get a good workload.
Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, so number 4.
All right, we were not on the same page about the player I thought was number 3. So your number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So number 4. 3, 2, 1. Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
Because you were talking about someone who wasn't as good, playing better.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, Jonathan Taylor. But I
think we'll get a nice year from JT as well.
Return to form. I don't know. Just less drama going into the year could probably do him a lot of good.
No contract issue. He's healthy. You hope. Yeah, I think so too.
So I think he bounces back. I got Jonathan Taylor at 4.
But when I said I was going to do a thing, this spot originally belonged to Nick Chubb. I have decided to omit Chubb from the list because I have no idea what he's going to look like when he comes back, because that was just a disgusting injury. I know he's had a similar one before, but to have that twice in your career, and he had that when he was young. He was like 19 or 20 when that shit happened. He's got a little more tread on the tires now. It's a lot scarier right now to have that injury than it was, in college. And we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I didn't realize Chubb was 28.
28. Oh, yeah, 28 years old. It's scary. It was a scary injury. I'm hoping for the best because I love Nick Chubb. I think he would probably be what we've seen of Nick Chubb the last several years, he's probably would be like my number 2, assuming he was just the same guy.
100%. If you told me Nick Chubb is Nick Chubb, I'd slap him at 2.
I don't think we can assume that Nick Chubb is Nick Chubb, which is why I've decided to initially I was going to put him here because I was still confident. I'm going to omit him. This is a bit of a cop-out, but also I was kind of the tie I said I had at number 10 was going to go between somebody else and Bijan, but in terms of projection, I really do feel like Bijan's going to be fantastic this year, and I don't think it would have been fair of me to put him as low as I wanted to. So I'm going to put him here. I think we are going to get a monster season, Bijan, and I can't wait. And let me open my phone back up to see my number 5, because I forgot. All right, I'm ready.
All right, number 5. 3, 2, 1. Nick Chubb.
Kyren Williams.
I did include Nick Chubb, and we were feeling about the same.
Yeah.
When you originally made the list, I'm just hedging my bets here. I'm like, I think I've seen him. He was. If somebody's body is not like others, it would be Nick Chubb's.
That's fair.
So
I think that's fair.
And this is me already being like, oh, he's not gonna be quite the same coming off injury at number 5.
He's gonna be top 5 instead of top 2. Yeah.
Instead of being the only one who could challenge CMC for 1.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
So yeah, I put him at 5. I love Nick Chubb. He's like a go-to fantasy running back for me. Maybe not this year, depending on how boards fall, but we'll see. I love Nick Chubb, so I couldn't leave him off.
My other hang-up with Chubb is just how good Jerome Ford was last year in his absence. I don't think especially with trying to work Chubb back into the lineup from injury. I don't think Jerome Ford's just going to get phased out of the offense. You know what I mean? I don't know, from a production standpoint, Chubb is going to be like what we expect as well. Not just because of the injury, but because he's going to be sharing the load with Jerome Ford. But I went with Kyren Williams, who, funny enough, second team All-Pro Kyren Williams. Many forget. Second team All-Pro this past season. This man was really good. I have no idea why they drafted Blake Corum. He is just a worse Kyren Williams. I don't get it. But maybe they just want two of the same guy in case Kyren gets hurt. If that's the case, you don't really lose a beat, I guess.
Kyren missed games last year, so I think that literally is just it.
Yeah, they just have Kyren Williams Jr. behind him and Blake Corum. So I guess if you want, I mean, good for you. But this man, he just does it all. He's just a little engine that could, I just fucks with Kyren Williams. And now I don't think he's the second best running back in the league, like his All-Pro status would indicate. But also, it was just a weak year for running backs last year, and quite frankly, he deserved it. So
I had him in fantasy. I'm very well aware he deserved it.
That man was on a tear. So love me some Kyren Williams. Number 5 pick for me.
Okay, so then number 6. All right. 3, 2, 1. Derrick Henry.
Breece Hall.
Okay.
Yep.
I have Derrick Henry here at 6. I think his like per touch numbers are gonna go up, from last year, but I don't know exactly what the rotation of that backfield looks like. I think
you're gonna get a lot of Justice Hill.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be what it has been in like Tennessee, and then Lamar's always gonna break off.
The
some
snap
good
share
runs.
last year between Henry and Spears was like Henry had more, but it wasn't like ridiculously more. So in terms of
then I feel better about
touches. Henry definitely had more touches, but in terms of the snap share, Spears was not that far behind him. I think Spears was on the offense for like 45% of
Well, I guess if that's what Derrick Henry does with a share like that, then I feel even better about having him here at 6.
Yeah.
Instead of higher. But yeah, Derrick Henry, 6.
I think that's fair. Breece Hall, I mean, we already touched on it, but love me some Breece Hall. And I think hopefully with a better offensive line, hopefully with better quarterback play should help him out as well. Take the edge off the running game, but because he was the offense last year. Him and I guess Garrett Wilson too. I do love Garrett Wilson. Certified Garrett Wilson respecter. All right, top 10 wide receiver for me. Don't let anybody forget it. But
he didn't make the list for me. It's because the position's so stacked. But I won't blink if he's top 10 with Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball.
Oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers and wide receivers.
I wouldn't be shocked if he was top 5.
Wouldn't shock me in the slightest. I love Garrett Wilson. One of my favorite receiver prospects of the last few years. But number 7, sir.
All right, number 7. 3, 2, 1. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Saquon Barkley. Okay, I like it.
I just the way he moves on the field. I love to watch.
He is a stud. He is a stud.
I mean, he did that with this, and it's still gonna be like this. But he did that sharing the backfield about as I don't know what the snaps actually were, but just in terms of how it looked and how it felt, about as equally as any running back duo out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, what he can do as soon as you get that ball in his hands, it was fun to watch. Obviously, I had him in fantasy, so that's my king right there. But yeah, I love Jahmyr Gibbs.
Saquon Barkley. I love this man. I've loved this man since he was drafted.
You saw his quads.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley. Oh yeah.
It was love at first quad sight.
I agree. And I'm excited to see him in Philly behind that offensive line. I think he could have a just insane season. If DeAndre Swift looks like a top 10 running back behind that offensive line, imagine what an actual talent's going to look like behind that offensive line, and not fucking Trent Richardson 2.0 in DeAndre Swift. So,
well, I don't think either of us were ever bought into.
No, hell no. I've never been a DeAndre Swift guy. I'm worse vision than Stevie Wonder. Man does not know a hole when he sees it. I can't stand DeAndre Swift, man. I don't know what they see in him. Same reason I don't like Marshawn Lloyd. I don't get why the Packers drafted him. But whatever. Anywho, number 8.
Number 8. 3, 2, 1. Kyron
Jonathan
Williams.
Taylor. We have not gotten to see Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson play together yet.
Yep.
Those read options are going to be disgusting.
Yes.
They are going to be absolutely filthy. And I mean, of course, obviously he's running behind a great offensive line. Indy, he should be healthy now. No drama heading into the season. He got signed. He got paid. It's just all ball right now. And I love what the Colts did this offseason. They pretty much ran it back with all their guys because they believed firmly that Anthony Richardson would be that big of a difference maker once he's back on the field. So they basically re-signed almost all their important free agents and then just drafted some guys. And I think JT is going to be a big reason for their success this year. And I have a strong belief in the Colts. I think this is spoiler alert for our playoff predictions. I think the Colts are a playoff team. And I think JT will be a big reason why.
Yeah.
Love JT.
Yeah.
And
then Kyron Williams, he's playing for one of the best offensive minds in football. And he's getting utilized, and his workload was up there when he was healthy and when he was playing. Like the snap percentage that he was playing, like he was on the field damn near every down for him. Like he played a lot of football for him when he was healthy, and he capitalized on it. So I got him at 8.
Yeah.
But number 9. 3, 2, 1. Saquon Barkley.
Kenneth, I think another guy who, if he could play 17 games, I think people would realize just how good he was.
Right.
Kenneth Walker, with the ball in his hands, just as a runner, one of the best in the league. He's so fun to watch. He is like, just turn on Kenneth Walker later today if you got the time. I mean, to anybody. Like, what the fuck was that?
I just like he's good, but it's like, damn, in my free time, am I really about to just sit down and
I
watch
don't
Kenneth Walker highlights?
I don't spend my free time watching, necessarily sitting down going like, I wonder what were the best Kenneth Walker plays of 2023. But, I like me some Kenneth Walker. What can I say? Like, K9, he's that dude. I think that backfield between him and Charbonnet is going to look really good this year. I'm excited.
Yeah, and then for Saquon, I mean, you just said everything.
I sure did.
Ago.
Sure did.
Maybe I don't know. We'll see. I think Jalen Hurts might still vulture a lot of like goal line opportunities for Saquon. And when we're talking about the top players at any position, even though we've kind of talked about how weaker the running back position kind of is, that you're still splitting hairs here. At least 2 on, you're kind of splitting hairs. So I think that might come into play in terms of ranking these guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got Saquon at 9, and then I have a real projection, a real shot here at number 10.
Rico Dowdle.
All right, number 10.
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Jameer Gibbs.
A-Chan. I forgot which way you're supposed to pronounce it.
A-Train.
I don't know.
I think it's A-Chan.
I don't know if he wants that.
I think it's A-Chan.
Yeah.
I got Jameer Gibbs. However, I love the A-Chan pull, and I think if he's healthy, we're going to see it.
I think if he's healthy,
Absolutely.
and then Raheem Mostert is, just getting another year older.
Yeah, he is entering year 9 or year 10 or something. He's been around for a while. He's been around for a minute now. So.
And he hasn't always been the most durable, even though I know that
that's true.
Devon's rookie year categorized pretty much the same way.
Yeah.
But man, that offense, if he can be healthy, and Raheem is 32.
What if
Mm-hmm.
the lead running back in that Dolphins backfield actually Jalen Wright? What would you do then?
That would be a travesty because that would mean that those other guys are definitely hurt. And I'm not saying that as a shot at Jalen Wright. It's just like those guys are really good and already established in the offense.
Mm-hmm.
I think for him to do that, that's what it would take.
We're going to see a couple of those like rookie season A-Chan, like, oh, holy shit, he can do that with Jalen Wright, I think, this year, regardless of the success of the other two. We're going to see a couple of those Jalen Wright runs where you're like, how the fuck did they get another one?
They'd have to
That's going to be a lot of fun.
They'd have to have scored 63 points in the game already to see that because Devon's gonna get those. Still, like they're not.
No, I get it.
They're not like, oh, now it's rookie slot time. It's just like, no, it's just Devon time.
Yeah. No, I understand, but I think we're not going to see like a ton of run for Jalen Wright, but like he's good enough to where he's going to get on the field in some capacity, and he's going to look really good. Like, I mean, he had those runs, a lot of those runs at Tennessee as well. Like the first play against Georgia this past season was a 75-yard touchdown run. We're going to see that shit in Miami's offense for sure. In the preseason, I can't wait to see Jalen Wright in the preseason because he's going to get some ball in the preseason. He is going to take off. He's going to turn heads in the preseason. I can't wait.
Achane must have been hurt in the preseason. Did he play in the preseason?
I don't really remember.
Because I feel like we would remember. I feel like we would have at least seen or remembered at least one. Because what he did against the NFL players, like imagine what he would have done in the preseason. Like I bet we would have. He must not have. He must not have.
Yeah. But Jahmyr Gibbs for me at 10. I mean, you mentioned it earlier, but I love the way this man runs. Mm-hmm. He's got a lot as a receiver as well, and if he didn't have a David Montgomery to share the field with, I think his numbers would be fucking absurd. Yes. And that's really a big part of the reason why he's not as high for me, because in terms of production, David Montgomery is going to demand touches. He had 1,000 yards last year. David Montgomery is a very good football player. He has been since he was drafted. I don't know that the Bears ever really utilized him quite to the degree that they should have. I've always been a big David Montgomery guy, and I think
the Bears utilizing offensive players.
Never mind. I should have learned my lesson with what's his face. I think his last name was Howard. The 2016 he got drafted with Zeke, the running back. God, wow, I can't remember his first name now, but I know he was like. Okay, hang on.
I'm looking up 2016 running back class.
Something Howard, I think. I don't.
Zeke, Derrick Henry, Paul Perkins, Jonathan Williams, Kenneth Dixon.
Jordan Howard. That's who it was. Jordan Howard was a stud, and then
Jordan Howard out of Indiana.
Mm-hmm. Should just kind of happen, but yeah, big Jordan Howard guy. So yeah, Bears kind of suck.
It seems like they. And we both liked Roschon Johnson, and
please use him more this year. I am Shane Waldron, if you can hear me.
Who did they draft? Didn't they draft? They either drafted or signed a running back, didn't they?
Fucking DeAndre Swift. They signed DeAndre Swift to like an $8 million a year deal. He got the same deal Tony Pollard did. Which, not that Pollard is like an insurmountably better player than Swift, but like he's better than Swift.
Yeah.
Spears better than both of them. Whatever.
Okay.
Tyjae Spears better than Tyjae Spears. Really should have cracked my top 10. If I wanted to get real nasty with it, I should have put Tyjae. I should have snuck Tyjae Spears in there. You know what? Tyjae Spears at 11. Fuck it. He's gonna be fucking incredible this year. Tyjae Spears at 11. Anywho,
all right. But that is it for running backs.
That sure is. So
next week we're not going to be doing positions. We're going to be doing something a little more fun. For the main topic, ladies and gentlemen.
We're doing something pretty cool.
We're doing something pretty sick.
I think so.
But now I think we should cut deep.
I think it's time to get deep.
All right, let's start off with the icebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Is it better to be a kid or an adult? To me, this is easy.
This is easy. I think there's a lot of nostalgia goggles you could put on, but it's better to be an adult.
100%.
I mean, like,
I think people forget the lack of choice and free will you kind of truly have when you're a kid.
I don't even remember most of my childhood because I blocked a lot of that shit out. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, like a good chunk of it, a good chunk of my early years, I do not remember. Like, I remembered them eventually, but I did not remember for a long. Like, I don't want to relive that shit.
No.
Fuck out of here. No, I don't want to. No, I
genuinely hate school.
I live on my own. I got a fucking cat. He just perked up. He went, meow, look at that. I got a cat.
I remember every stage in life, people being like, "Oh, cherish this. You're gonna miss this." And I would grow up and I'd look back and be like, "I don't miss that."
No. Every single time I got older, I was grateful for it. Like, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, responsibility kind of stinks. Like, I hate having to worry about bills, but if that's the worst I got going on, like, it's not like I'm losing my apartment. I've lived here over a year now. Like, I'm doing just fine. I'm okay. Excuse me. And this shit's pretty cool. Like, I can, if I want to just go somewhere, I can just go do it.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell me no. Nobody can say, oh no, I don't have to rely on anybody for anything. If I want to go somewhere, I can drive myself. If I want to go do something, I can just go out and do it as long as it's like, financially feasible. But like, I got a cat. I didn't really have a cat growing up. I had like a couple, but like they never really stuck around. I got a cat now. I think that's pretty cool. I love my cat. So yeah, adulthood, I'll take it every day of the week. It's not easy, but I'll take it.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna be able to know this.
Okay.
Because this is a between us. It says between us. Who is the better cook?
Never cooked for you. Never cooked for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
What should we go?
I would guess you. I feel like I haven't expanded what I can cook as much.
I haven't done the same though, so I feel like we might be in the same boat here because I don't have like the. Not that I can't. It's just that I haven't experimented as much as I'd like to.
Yeah. Then we're probably comparable then.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I think so.
We'll just leave it at that, I guess.
Yeah. There ain't really a whole lot to say there.
Yeah. All right. Deeper.
Deeper.
What's something you do regularly to nurture positive feelings within the relationship? Within like our relationship?
Within our relationship?
I guess so. What's something you do regularly to nurture positive feelings within, let's do our relationship?
I'm always right there with you whenever Gabe sends some anti-Joe Burrow propaganda.
You were
actually getting like upset yesterday when you sent the damn.
No, I wasn't like genuinely upset. He's gotten me genuinely upset before, but that wasn't.
I know. I have actually seen you get mad. In the
dude, it's got me. There was a stretch of time where I just wasn't doing good, and then he would send something into the chat, or one of you would send something into the chat, and I'm like, guys. Can this just be one fucking happy place for me, please?
I just want my best friends to not bully me.
It's like, I want to enjoy this goddamn chat, and I can't do that.
I do respect, though, that Gabe knows he's going to get tag teamed every single time he does it, and yet without fail, it's never you and I starting the conversation. It's Gabe. It's never us. It's not like we wake up one morning and go, by the way, in case you forgot, Joe Burrow is better than Josh Allen. No, it's only Gabe that does that shit. Who says, oh, actually, Josh Allen is better. Like, you and I don't never start that shit. But anyway, he's got to spread his propaganda, I understand.
Yeah. And then I feel like just sending memes in the chat, just like, I don't know, we're constantly in the chat. Yeah. Like, doing this pod, obviously, is the biggest one.
That's a huge one for us.
Talking through what we're going to do, coming up with different fun, creative ideas. I really try to bring the ideas.
Yeah, you do. I like this. Everything that we do for the most part is like the brainchild of Brayden. Very rarely am I like, hey, let's do this thing, and we actually like we do a thing that I come up with because normally like a vast majority of the time Brayden comes up with this shit, and like he came up with the segment for what we're doing next week, and it took him like 10 minutes, and he was like, I got this, and I'm like, that's fucking genius. Yeah, let's do it. So
I'm so excited for that one, and I've decided that I think I will. We're going to do that segment here, and then I think later down the line, I'm going to make that like a full video and like do the others of the things.
I think that's a good idea.
But yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah, looking forward to next week. That's going to be a fun one. But yeah, that's it for Let's Cut Deep. It's now time to see. We were just really positive towards each other. Let's see if we are on the same wavelength.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, so I close my eyes, right?
Yes, you close your eyes. You guess first when you're the host. So.
Okay, eyes are closed.
I'm going to be thinking about this for a second because I kind of wasn't ready. All right. I got it.
All right.
Open the bitches up.
All right. Questions. Fuck. It's always like, fuck, questions.
You're usually a little better at this than I am, in all honesty. But
all right, tomorrow's 4th of July. Let's do food at a barbecue. any dessert that's brought, sides that are brought, appetizers, main dishes, anything that you would normally see at a barbecue. Or
I just need to say, no
yes.
matter what number I would have picked, this would have been an incredibly tough one for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are so many things at a barbecue that I love.
I was gonna say
There
you give
there
off
are
big
a
barbecue loving
handful
energy.
There are a handful of things that I'm kind of lukewarm about a little bit, and there are a handful of things where I'm like, get that shit away from me. So having to narrow it down to one for any end of the spectrum is not an easy decision.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I might be giving myself away right here. Coleslaw.
Yeah, my brother picked one. My brother picked one.
You know.
I think my brother. I'm sitting at a solid 1, the most solid 1, the best I felt after one question. I think, yeah, solid 1 here.
Yeah. Final answer: coleslaw for the first question. Yeah, that was a strong first question because you could have gotten me to say brisket, and you would have known that shit was a 9 or a 10. And then I didn't say brisket though. I said coleslaw. But anywho,
let's see. I'm trying to. I have like a general theme for this question, but I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want. Let's just do. I might have to workshop that question. Let's just do.
Okay.
Fuck. Give me. Give me a physical feature of yourself.
Okay, first my phlebotomist gives me body dysmorphia. Now you want to give me body dysmorphia?
Well, maybe you're at like a 7. I don't know.
All right. yeah. I'm a big coleslaw guy, don't you know? I've always said good things about coleslaw. I really
using wavelengths to get like deep.
To get like, what do you really hate about yourself? Like a physical feature. I don't know that I have one that I'm really like.
Really?
I don't know, like.
Because I definitely, if hypothetically, if the number was 1, I definitely have one for myself.
I love myself, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I love myself, but there's one thing physically about me that I wish was different.
His peener, guys. He's talking about his peener.
No. Talking about my nipples.
Oh, fair enough.
They're
I don't know
weird.
what your nipples look. I don't remember what your nipples look. Oh, no, I don't remember what your nipples look. You got nice nipples. I don't worry about
It must have been cold. They must have been shrunk
I like my nipples personally. I'm a big fan.
They're puffy.
God, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I really don't got much. Like, I don't have one that I'm like this low on. If I had to pick one,
low. Well, you're giving me hints, brother.
I'm not. Coleslaw is the biggest hint a man. Well, no, I don't think it's entirely accurate. But coleslaw was a pretty damn big hint, and I don't know. I guess you know what? No, I have like this nagging hangnail on my right pinky toe that every time I cut it off completely, I will rip it off completely. It somehow always manages to grow back as a hangnail because it's not at the front; it's on the side. And every time it grows improperly, and it's just chilling off the side. Yeah, the only way for me to fix this would probably be to pull my entire toenail off and start over from ground zero. I don't want to do that because that would hurt like a bitch. So I'm going to say if I had to pick one thing, it's this nagging hangnail on my right pinky toe. Okay. That counts. That totally counts.
All right.
So that's where we are.
And then for this next question, you don't have to be too specific. You can be broad or general. But something a romantic partner has done, either just in general how they were or to you specifically.
I told you about that time I got thrown up on while receiving head, right?
Yes.
That would be my answer. That's happened to me before. It was funny. I even laughed at the time when it happened. But, generally speaking, not my idea of a good time.
No.
So, Yeah, not my favorite. Not my favorite thing ever. Even in hindsight, it's funny. Like in the moment, it was funny. In hindsight, it's funny. But as an experience, I've had better, certainly.
Okay. And we'll pivot a little bit into things you've done for a girl.
I was in a long distance relationship once, and there was this one time. It was the second time she had come to visit me, and there was one time where like we weren't really like having sex that often, and I was like, okay, well, if not now, then like when? And I got like there was one day I got like kind of sexually frustrated. It wasn't like a violation of consent type thing or anything like that. I want to make that very clear. But there was one day where I was one time I got a little upset for a moment because we weren't really like
Being
doing it
intimate.
much, and I'm like, okay, like I understand, like it's okay if you're not in the mood. I'm just like, when are we gonna do this? If like I haven't seen you in 3 months. Like when is this gonna happen? If not now, you live literally across the country, and but like that's something after we broke up. I thought about that for months, and I was like yes, I like obviously like I understand even like within myself why that'd be frustrating to me, but that's never something I should have pushed onto somebody else. Like because obviously she did need it like as much. I'm certain like she just didn't want it as much as I did, and that's okay. And like so that's something I've been very careful about in my current relationship. I have never once even remotely gotten sexually frustrated because I would hate to like I don't want to make somebody feel like they're doing something wrong by not wanting to, and like um I thought for a long time, like, I hope that didn't cause any problems for her later on down the line. Like, I hope that moment didn't make her feel like, there would be something wrong if she, had just not been in the mood for somebody else. I hope that didn't come with any guilt. And even for the rest of our relationship, I hope that never came with any guilt. I never did it again after that, but I hope that never, excuse me. And like even now, my girlfriend and I, like, we're getting a little specific here. We haven't been intimate in a little while because she hurt her knee pretty bad, and like it's just kind of hard to have sex when your knee's fucked up. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's probably I guess been a little over a month at this point. I don't know. I haven't been keeping track, but like it is what it is. Like it it ain't her fault, right?
I would
So
kill to have had sex a month ago.
fair enough. But and even before that, like any time where she's ever been not like if I wanted to and she didn't and she says sorry, I always tell her like don't say that. You don't need to say sorry. There's nothing wrong with just telling, like just being honest with me, saying no. Because I'd much rather you tell me you're not in the mood than just say yes because I want it, even though you don't really want it. Because I don't want to do it if you don't want to do it, because that's not going to be fun for you, and I'm going to know. Like,
Yeah.
you got to be real fucking stupid to just be having sex and not catch the vibe of like, hey, they're actually not into this like at all. It's pretty fucking easy to tell. So like if like I've stopped sex before because I could tell my partner wasn't into it. So if you like, so like I'd much rather her always tell me, and she's always honest with me about it, and I really appreciate that. And I've never once made her even remotely feel bad about that. If anything, I've only ever told her after the fact, like, no, it's okay if she says sorry, which she typically does. She apologizes a lot in general when she doesn't need to. It's not just about sex, but I tell her all the time, like, you don't need to say sorry. I don't want you to say sorry. And I know why she does it. She explained it to me one day. She's like, I don't say sorry because I feel like I'm doing something wrong by telling you no. It's just because, like, I know, maybe you got excited about it. Like, maybe we just kissed really intimately and it got you in the mood. And now you want to. And there's a level of disappointment when I tell you I don't. And I don't say sorry because we got a little off topic here, but at the same time, I think this is an important conversation to have, just in terms of like she said, she doesn't say sorry because she feels like she's doing something wrong. She says sorry because she knows that regardless, like there's a level of like, oh, okay, like, and she doesn't like bringing that, but also I don't think she needs to apologize. I know why she does it. She's explained it to me. I still don't think she needs to say sorry even for that, because I'd much rather her say no than her say yes but not actually want to.
Right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with like in a relationship wanting physical intimacy and voicing your desire
Yeah.
for it. The problem comes with forcing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and you can have conversations with your partner about sex or lack thereof, or like too much. Like you can set boundaries in regards to sex, and you can establish your needs in regards to sex. And sometimes, like, look, if they're just completely misaligned and you feel like you really need it that bad, and your partner just does not want to, you might just not be right for each other.
Right.
And that's a tough conversation to have, because I would hate personally for that to be what ends my relationship, is just like sexually, like we're just too off, like not on the same page in terms of how often we want to do it. But also, like, I don't feel like I need sex that bad to the point where a difference in sex drive is going to matter that much for me personally. Because, like I said, I know I have a higher sex drive than her. It has not affected our relationship at all, though. Like, every time she's ever been like, no, I'm not in the mood. I'm like, oh, okay, let's just do literally anything else. And I'm always still enjoying myself because I'm spending time with her and I love her. So, like that's, I don't know. Anywho, yeah, I think that's your third question.
That was like the fourth, because
That was the
coleslaw,
fourth. That was
physical
the fourth.
feature.
Yes.
What someone's done to you, what you've done to them.
Someone's done to me, what I've done to them. Yes, that was.
Using wavelength. Hey, wavelength is getting us way deeper than Let's Cut Deep.
Yeah. I think
Wavelength. Let's see. Final question. Cartoon Network TV show.
It's hard to pick one I'm not super fond of. I love most of them. Even, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I don't care how this sounds to anybody. I really like Teen Titans Go.
I think once you separate it from Teen Titans, it's much easier to enjoy.
Once you acknowledge it as its own media, it's not there to replace Teen Titans. It is there to coexist alongside Teen Titans. And I think once you realize that it's a different tone, it's supposed to be a different tone, it is its own separate thing. It's pretty fucking funny. If I'm being honest, I like. It's a comfortable show for me to watch.
Are you explaining why something isn't your answer here instead of just giving your answer?
Well, I just wanted to shout out Teen Titans Go real quick. My answer is probably Steven Universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that yeah.
Not my favorite thing in the world.
Some weird stuff within the show itself, and then the fan base itself.
Some of the writers as well. Well, like some of the stuff within the show, you're like, oh, that's odd, and then you read about what some of the writers have been caught doing, and you're like, oh, that actually explains that perfectly. I don't like this. I don't like this at all, and not perfectly, because there's something in the show that's like supposedly an allegory for sex, but it's not actually. It's more of an allegory for like connection, and but still, some of the writing staff has been caught doing some not cool shit with people under the age of 18. And that's not good. You shouldn't do that. As we discussed already.
I just watched a YouTube documentary today about Mini Lad. I don't know if you know
who that is. Oh, I know who Mini Lad is.
Yeah. I just watched like a little YouTube documentary about him today.
Yeah, I'm familiar with his game, unfortunately. No, I know what he did. I know what he is. I know who you are. Yeah, I remember. I remember when it happened, too. I remember talking about it with my friends the next day at school. Like, that was...
The worst part is about how he'd use his own mental health for, like, manipulating.
I hate that shit so much.
Fan base and everything. Yeah. But I think I got the number. I'm guessing number 1. You picked 1.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
I actually picked 2.
What?
I'm being totally honest with you.
What worse stuff did you do or was done to you?
Well, in terms of what I did.
What's worse than coleslaw?
I just don't know if, how much barbecue food is really bad outside of coleslaw. Like, what is bad barbecue food?
I guess one could have been, like, potato salad with raisins.
Yeah.
I hate raisins.
I'm not. I was gonna say, I kind of like them on their own. I don't, though. I don't.
I was about to lie.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, even raisins on their own are like a 3, maybe 3.5. I like craisins a little bit. Like, craisins might be like a 5.5 or a 6. But, like... Coleslaw, I'll say, like, sometimes the reason it's not one is because you can kind of hide it a little bit, like on a taco or something, a taco, you can hide it a little bit. But, like, I don't potato salad with raisins, that's like jail.
Yeah.
That is jail. Like,
I've heard about it,
never
never
go to the
seen it in my
cookout again.
life.
I think it's like one of those things people get up in arms about that isn't actually like you don't
Prevalent.
actually see that shit. Like somebody went to one cookout one time.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is a stereotype on our people that I've never seen.
Somebody invited like their like best friend's like adopted mom or whatever to the cookout, and she was like, "I brought potato salad with raisins," and he was like, "Okay, never again." And then
because
it just got spread around.
Because our people
talked about it.
Have had this stereotype, and I've never fucking seen it in my life.
I hate this because I don't entirely agree with it, but at the same time, it kind of covers us. So I kind of appreciated it. It was like, y'all can't complain about white people not seasoning their food if you eat at Raisin Cane's because they don't season their chicken. And I'm like, yeah, but the sauce though. And the argument is, you don't need that much sauce. Like,
it's dependent on the sauce. Well, they serve the sauce. They know the sauce is coming with it.
That's why the line at the only Cane's near me in Clearwater is always out the building, because people know the sauce is that good. They literally go to with the sauce. So like,
all right,
I'm just being honest. Like,
close your eyes.
All right.
All right, open them.
Yo.
You ask questions.
Oh. I was gonna do something. All right. I did not just Google wavelength questions. You have no proof that I did that. Now, I'm trying to see something. Oh, this is not quite where I was. Okay, anywho. No, this is not good. This is not. Nope. Nope.
You click on like an X-rated version?
No, it was just like
boring.
No, yeah, well, maybe I can try to format these questions. The questions are like, let me see. Let me pull this back up. It's like 100 questions for wavelength, but it's hot versus cold. Where do summer vacations fall? It's like, well, no, you're giving me the answer. I don't want the answer. So like, okay. I'm gonna start speaking like this is going to happen, even though it's not planned. Whenever I come to Florida and visit you, and we're gonna actually hang out and do other stuff. But when we do the in-person pod, I think for wavelength for that episode, I want to buy like I don't know if you've seen it, but like the tabletop game like wavelength where they I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah,
it's a spinner. It's like
it'll
blue.
be two different
got, like,
things.
Little heads.
Yeah. You try to get on the same, try to pin it on the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, these just aren't.
They're just not what we do.
No, it's a little different. And I'm trying to look at some of these. Okay. Well, I've got one. This one's kind of like I can kind of format this one. Give me a fast food joint.
Okay. I will go with Chick-fil-A.
I know you're pretty high on Chick-fil-A. I know you're a guy
Possibly.
who does like himself some Chick-fil-A. I do.
Possibly.
I am. So I know you're kind of. You're high on this one. I don't know quite how high. The floor is 8.
Okay.
Something that somebody has done for you. Doesn't have to be a romantic partner. Could be a best friend. Could be a family member. What's something that really sticks out that somebody has done for you?
That somebody has done for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is so random, but this is what popped into my head for this. for when you do your Eagle Scout project in Boy Scouts, you have to like fundraise for it.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think of like how the fuck I was gonna do it, and then my mom's boss who's an orthodontist was where I got my braces.
Yeah.
Was like, I'll fundraise the whole thing if you put like this little sticker for his business like on the side of it. Because what my project was I built boxes to put AEDs in around town. So on the side of the boxes, one side has like this was Eagle Scout Project Brayden or whatever the fuck, and then the other, and then it also has like his company like logo on it. But just fundraising the whole thing.
You were networking at the ripe old age of 8.
I was like 14, but sure.
Oh well, whatever.
Yeah, but that's just what pops into my head because that was what I was most worried about was like how do I even go about fundraising?
Yeah.
But he just paid for everything. Just called me up and was like, I'll just pay for this if you just do this. And I was like, dope.
Nice. Good.
Really needed that. So I'm gonna go with that.
That's very nice. Very nice. So we're definitely we're pretty high here. I think it's higher than 8 though. I think it's at least 9, if not 10. You might have even told me at some point that Chick-fil-A was your favorite. I don't remember.
We've definitely have to have done top 3 fast foods.
We've done a top 3 fast foods. I don't know. Remember if Chick-fil-A was. I can pull up the video real quick, but I don't remember which one it was, and I feel like we'd be here a little while. So
I wonder if you put in YouTube Brayden Avillion Talks fast food or Avillion and Brayden Talks fast food. I wonder if it was in the title anywhere. Top 3 usually ends up finding its way into our titles.
That's fair. That's fair. It does often. I'm really having a hard time figuring out
questions.
I'm trying to look for more. Here we go. Okay. All right. Fuck. Okay.
Because right now we're 2 questions in.
We
3
sure are.
more. Right now we're looking at Chick-fil-A and fundraising.
Ooh. Juice. I think you did this one last week, but I just saw somebody do this. And now I'm curious. This guy just had the same answer I did too.
I guess I'll go with orange juice.
All right, so you're an orange juice guy.
Slight pulp.
Okay, we're getting specific. This man might be going for 10. Give me a song. Give me a song.
Let's go with Our Song by Taylor Swift.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Is that that's high up for you? I don't know. I've never
figuring
heard the
it
song. I just you didn't strike me as a guy who'd be that high on a Taylor Swift song.
I really enjoyed old school Taylor Swift a lot.
Fair enough. All right. I got one question left, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some
fundraising, Chick-fil-A, Our Song,
orange juice, slight
orange
pulp.
Juice. Yes, slight pulp.
Slight pulp. What is something you've done for somebody else? Say something nice about yourself here. Something you've done for somebody else.
I've done for somebody else?
Something you've done for somebody else. I want to know.
That I've done for somebody else? I don't be interacting with people.
I could name something.
You could name something?
For you? Yeah, I could name something.
Can you tell me?
Oh, well, yeah, not too long ago. This would probably be about 5 months ago or so at this point. Maybe 6.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a really rough patch, and I called you.
Yes.
And you listened for like... Yes. I don't remember how long it was, but
do you remember
you
that?
You just listened. That's all you needed. That's all I needed from you, and that's what you did. I
do remember.
I called you up, and I had to let it out, and you were there, and I said, "Okay, I appreciate you. I'm gonna talk to you later."
Okay.
that was it.
I don't
And
think
that
I
was a
could
really
use
good
that
thing
one.
that you did for me.
That's a great one. But that's yeah. But I don't think I could use it for this number.
Okay, so that's maybe more of a 9 and you're thinking 10. Or maybe more of an 8, perhaps, and you're thinking 10. Okay. I could change the question if you want.
I'm just also I really have a fucking terrible memory.
I get that. It's
Like
hard for me to
like
immediately
long-term
recall
memory.
something like that. It's
Especially because I feel like I think people really overestimate how easy it is to do nice things for other people.
it is
So in my mind, it's like
so
anything that
fucking easy.
also because it's like in the moment, it's like, oh, I'm just on the phone with my friend who's just venting.
Yeah.
But for you in that moment, it was like it meant more. Not that
Well,
it didn't.
just like yeah. Well, sorry.
Not that it like it. I mean, I was aware of the gravity of it, and I was like, oh, I really appreciate that he feels like he can come to me with this.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to be there for him. But I think in the moment, it's just like, oh, I'm just on the phone with my friend. But on the other end, it's like I needed this at that moment. So the weight is different, and it just sits on the memory different.
Well, and like today with the new phlebotomist, like they were clearly very nervous. I was super patient with them the whole time. I wasn't worried about it. They almost pricked my finger without wiping it down with the alcohol pad first. I was like, "Well, hang on now, you're forgetting something." And,
Hold up.
Hold up, wait a minute. Let's be sanitary now. This is a medical facility. Wipe my finger down first. But I was super patient. Like they were kind of manhandling my finger a little bit when they were trying to like squeeze the blood out after they pricked it because it has to go in this little vial, and they weren't really like squeezing around the thing. They were just squeezing my whole finger, and I was just like, okay, like it's kind of working, so like I'll just let them do what they need to do. Like, yeah, they're fucking my finger up a little bit here, but it's working. Like in that moment, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm literally just being like, I'm showing basic human decency here. I'm not getting mad at somebody when it's their first time. Like, before I walked up to the seat, the guy training them asked, "Do you want to do this one, or do you want to watch me do this one?" In my head, immediately, they haven't done this before, right? Like, that's what it is. They haven't done this before. And they said they wanted to do it. So this was their first time ever doing somebody's vitals at the facility. I wasn't gonna be a dick, because they're not doing it as fast as the rest of them do, and they don't quite know what they're doing yet. Like, everybody was a first timer at something, at everything at one point. So like, but like to me it was whatever. I'm just like, yeah, obviously I'm not gonna be an asshole, but to them they were super nervous. They probably really appreciated it, and I if that helped them out, if that made their day, if that at least like made it being new to them easier, like I'm good. I'm very glad. Like I'm very glad not being a dick is sometimes just enough to help somebody else out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe we do need a different question just because I can't think of. Maybe I'm just a selfish guy. I don't do things for other people.
Okay. I guess this is a chance for me to learn something about you.
Okay.
Is there a particular podcast episode you think you could call back to in this segment? Give me episodes of our podcast.
An episode of our
podcast. Yeah. You don't have to obviously not like my title, but like, is there something from the episode that you remember that sticks out to you?
I would probably just go with when we did the Pokemon football teams.
That was a banger. That was a certified banger. I loved that one, and that was a rare instance in which it was my idea.
It was your idea.
Shout out. I saw somebody like do it, and I was like, their team fucking sucks. I could make a way better team than that. And so I was like, I got an idea, and I was like, hey, we talk about these two things. Let's throw them together. But yeah, okay. I'm gonna say final answer 10.
What's your final answer?
I think we're at 10.
It was 9.
Kind of figured we might be going there. I went 2, you went 9. You were thinking 1, I was thinking 10. We were a little off today.
Also, I was thinking about like the thing I had done for someone else when you gave your example. I was like, well, for us, I feel like since I'm talking to you, that probably should be like the 10.
Oh, I guess fair enough. But yeah. I mean, I would have been totally fine with you using that as an example there. But I mean, the difference
between 9 and 10 is negligible.
It's circumstantial. It's based on like coleslaw. Like if I had chosen one, I probably still would have said coleslaw because I wouldn't think about potato salad with raisins because that to me that's like an imaginary evil. Whereas coleslaw, that is a very real and present evil. You know what I mean? I ain't never seen no potato salad with raisins. I've seen many a coleslaw in my day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, it's kind of like circumstantially what can and can't be a 1 or a 2 or whatever. Something might go up or down when you need it, and that's just kind of how it goes. Because with barbecue, like I don't know if I ever saw potato salad with raisins at the barbecue, I'm throwing it at somebody. Ideally, the person that made it, but really anybody would do.
Anybody could get it.
I'm just so pissed off. I guess somebody's got to take the brunt of this, but nah.
But yeah, now I think it's time for top 3 of the week. Pokemon Fire Starters.
What? Yes.
Yep.
I like this one. I'm excited for this one.
Kick us off here with your number 3.
I sure am. Number 3. I will fully admit this is a Pokemon I have never used because I have not played this game enough yet to have used it. With that being said, it is beautiful, and I love it, and I want it. Skeledirge. Going with Skeledirge. The Fuecoco line here, really, in general.
Yeah, see, I guess we're different minds. When we talk about starters, I think your mind jumps to Final Evos. I always just think of
I think of the collective, although I guess as a starter you always start out with the first stage, so it makes sense to call them by their but like I don't know.
I think it's also because you play a Pokemon game further in or longer than I do.
Yeah, so I spend most of my time with granted I haven't spent any time with this Pokemon yet, but as on my team anyways, but at some point I'm going to replay Scarlet and or Violet and I'm going to be Coco. I've used Sprigatito and hi buddy, and I've used Josuke the bisexual duck, but my main man Quaxley, Quackquavel, but I have not used Fuecoco, but I love him so much. I think he's adorable. I think the whole line is really cool. I like that
he doesn't turn into a bipedal furry.
Well, no, it's Sprigatito that turns into bipedal, and it's Quaxley that turns bisexual.
No, I know, but I'm saying like there's been a trend of like a lot of starters starting off as
fire
cool,
starters.
Yeah,
I guess you get like Emboar to me is like a bear, but not like the animal bear. I mean like the gay guy bear.
Okay.
And then you've got Delphox, which is just like, especially Braixen is almost a little too effeminate, and you're just like, what did they mean by this? And then Delphox is just a little too anthropomorphic. And then you get don't even get me started on
Incineroar.
Incineroar. Well, yeah, Incineroar is a straight up wrestler, and then Cinderace, that is a straight up soccer player. Like,
yeah,
completely. Whereas Skeledirge, return to our roots. We've got a quadruped. We've got a guy who's just getting shit done. Looks like a Pokemon. Does not look like a person.
Right.
So, I like it. I like it a lot. Your number 3, sir.
My number 3. I'm going with Chimchar.
Hell yeah.
I like monkeys.
This was probably my 4th for me.
If you could see, there's this golden monkey right here. You can't really make it out, but that's what this is right here.
Yeah.
Big monkey lover. And obviously fire starters are always, majority of the time, what I like more.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a little fire monkey running around. What's not to love?
Can't beat it.
I think that season of the Pokemon anime or show, however you want to classify it, that is when I do remember seeing of. So I also remember seeing a good bit of that, of a Chimchar all the way up to Infernape. So definitely going with that. Chimchar at number 3. Your number 2, sir.
My number 2.
Your number 2.
This Pokemon is about to have 3 Mega Evolutions probably in the near future. Let's be honest. It's Charizard. As much as I love to shit on you for your love for Charizard, I gotta admit I love me some Charizard. Like I ain't gonna get disrespectful. Okay, I love Charizard. Give me any Charizard. I'll take. I think Charmander is adorable. I think they really nailed the first three starters in general in terms of like simple but effective. But I mean Charizard. It's a dragon. It is a lizard-looking orange little lizard fire thing. It's cool. It's awesome. It's fun. Everybody loves it. There's a reason it's got 2 megas, and they're both awesome. And there's a reason it has one of the best shinies. Like everybody loves it, and there's a reason everybody loves it. I love Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard. This is an easy number 2 for me. Can't disrespect them. Love them to death.
My number 2, we're gonna go by very quickly because we just talked about them. It was love at first sight with Fuecoco.
I would die for that thing.
As soon as I saw it on that little painting that they had of the dude going through the museum and showed it, I immediately was like, I usually go for fire starters, and I'm fucking doubling down. That thing looks amazing. Can't wait for it.
That had as strong of a reaction as Rowlet did with the fan base when people first saw Rowlet, and everybody was like, holy shit, like, I need that owl. Yeah. Like, Fuecoco had that exact same effect, like, when people saw Fuecoco, and they were like, now, granted, I loved all 3 of them. I remember when that trailer came out, I was like, we are so fucking back. Like, this is the most excited I've been about looking at starter Pokemon in the longest. And look at that fucking weed cat, man. Like, god damn. Bisexual duck. We got Josuke. Yeah. Love it.
All right, sir. Your number 1.
Number 1. This was, I believe, the first Mega Evolution we ever saw, if I remember correctly. And this is a Pokemon whose hidden ability is so good, they just decided to slap it on to its Mega form as well. Not to mention, it looks great. It was a trendsetter. This was the first of 3 Pokemon that had the exact same type combination that pissed everybody off, rightfully so. But you can't get mad at this one for it because he did it first, so mind your business. It is the Torchic, Combusken, and Blaziken line. And I have so much fun with this thing. Gen 3 is another gen where it's like, I don't think the games are quite as great as maybe most do, but the starters,
This is funny. I've always talked about how much I like the fire starters. You picked the one fire starter that I looked at and went, ew. I saw Torchic and I went, what the fuck? And I was like, all right, I guess I'm not going fire this game.
Look, man, when you got Trico in the lineup, you don't need him. But, like, that's just me, respectfully. Oh, my God. When we do grass, I might actually have to, like, end my own life. Because, dude, it's going to be impossible. It's going to be impossible. I know who number 1 is. I probably know who number 2 is because I've talked about him so much. But even then,
I definitely know my number 1.
I know my number 1. I'm having doubts about the rest right now. 2 and 3, dude, I'm going to have like 3 honorable mentions for the grass types because I can't do this shit. I can't do this shit. Anywho. Look, man, yeah, Torchic, he's kind of funny looking, but like he's kind of cool. Combusken straight up looks like a penis.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not hating. It's not his fault. Then Blaziken makes it all worth it at the end of the day, man. I fucking love Blaziken. So that's where my head's at. I think all 3 of them are wonderful, but my favorite fire starter, if I'm in terms of actually using it in game, who I've had the most fun with, Blaziken's my favorite fire starter. Gotta be. You're number 1. This is gonna shock the world. It's gonna shock the world.
I've gone on more than one rant, I think, on this pod, talking about my love for this Pokemon and how much I hate the hate that us blank fans get.
Blank fans. All
people
right.
call us basic. Like, yeah, like sure, it's
I'm people, by the way.
Mind blowing that people have fallen in love with the first ever Pokemon they got. The first ever Pokemon that they started the first game with and have been with throughout, like multiple, decade plus of their life. For in my case, decades for others.
Yeah.
And you just mentioned him. You get that he's got aura.
He got the sauce, man.
He's got one of the best shinies, absolute killer Mega Evolutions, and if he gets a white flamed 3rd Mega Evolution, it's white flame. I really want it to be white.
It's over.
My guess is green to go with like the Zygarde thing.
Z, yeah.
But my God, do I want white flames. But how do you not love Charmander?
I love Charmander.
Look at this.
I like him. I like him a lot. He's pretty cool.
Everybody knows what was going on in the anime. This one had more character than most random ass Pokemon get.
He got sent to boot camp for being a dick.
He was sassy. How am I not supposed to love that? I'm part of the sassy man revolution. How am I not supposed to love this idol of mine?
Charizard was the original girl boss.
Charizard is the pioneer. He was the founder of the sassy man revolution. Don't know if Charizard was actually a man in the show. I'm not sure. I don't know how.
I respect it.
Season 1, Gen 1, they weren't gendering Pokemon.
They did not have.
This is a non-binary sassy revolution starter right here.
We love an LGBTQ plus icon. Okay, we got non-binary Charizard up in this bitch. Sassy non-binary.
And that's what
Charizard.
every single Gen 1 Pokemon besides the Nidoran line, the Nidoran lines, are all part of June. You know, their June was 4.
Yeah, we're a couple days past here, but you know, R.I.P.
The pride doesn't stop.
I agree.
But yeah, obviously
year-round festivity.
But yeah, obviously, shocking nobody who's seen any segment of us talking about Pokemon.
It's Charizard.
It was always going to be Charizard. Oh,
Charizard.
It's fucking Charmander's tatted on me.
Yeah.
Sibling tattoo.
Yeah.
We each got a Gen 1 starter. I got Charmander, obviously.
Yeah.
That's my brother. But yeah, that is the top 3 of the week. But before we close things out here, brother, what you been on?
Well, I did watch this television event. It's called the 2024 NBA Draft. And my team did draft Zach Edey, and I was not happy. And look, I've got beef with Zach Edey. I've made it known. Purdue did knock us out of the playoff. Zach Edey won the Naismith. He shouldn't have. Connect was a better player. I will stand on that. I don't care that he went 17th overall. The Lakers got a good one. All right. Austin Reeves and Dalton Connect. All right, this is we've got Splash Crackers 2.0. All right, in LA. Yeah,
Columbine Brothers. I've heard that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Some white shooters.
So some white shooters. Dalton Connect and Austin Reeves. I've heard Columbine Brothers. I've heard Splash Crackers 2.0. I've heard a few nice ones, but yeah, I heard somebody say the Twin Towers. It's like, no, that's ridiculous. Like that's what do you call it? That's Chet and what's his face?
Isaiah Hartenstein now.
Yeah, that's.
Or
I guess
France and France's national team with Wemby and Gobert.
Yeah, that's
which
you got 2 tall guys.
Now that I sit here and think about it, because I think the rules are like I don't think they have 3-second violation. How do you score in the paint against France?
Wait a minute, no, not even that. You got Wemby. Is Alex Sarr on the French national team? That's another French center. That's like 3. You got 3 of them bitches now.
That's a great question. I'm not sure.
He could be. I mean, he's either way. You have at least 2 tall ass motherfuckers who are just gonna eat you alive in the paint. But anywho, yeah, we did draft Zach Edey. I've been watching The Boys. I got an episode came out today. I need to watch, but dog,
I only saw the first episode of this new season.
I'm loving it. I think it is some of their best work. This might be their best season. So by the time it's done, this could be the best season of the show. It definitely washes season 3. I think season 3 was their weakest outing. I still liked it, but man, it is better at this point. It is definitely better.
I'll have to watch it. I've heard conflicting things about season 4.
I've only heard one group of people complaining about season 4, and it's the same group of people they've been making fun of for the other 3 seasons. So they're just now catching on to the fact that they're the butt of the joke. But I haven't heard anybody else complaining about season 4.
I've heard things. I just heard like they're more spread out storyline wise, and they feel like certain things aren't getting as developed, or like there's one storyline. I've only saw the first episode, and it's just the starting, so I don't know where they take it. But people are like, some people are gonna hate that storyline regardless because of what it is, and then other people are like, we don't really care, but like you're not doing anything with it.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
We'll see.
Excuse me. I think it's being juggled pretty well. At least in this most recent episode, I think they juggled it really well. Now, a show that's not quite as good that I'm still having a lot of fun with is The Acolyte. There's only been one episode of this show where I was like, man, I really don't like this. And that was episode 3. We're 3 episodes past that now. Episode 6 just came out last night. I liked it. I don't know that it was good, but I certainly enjoyed myself. And it's very messy. It's very all over the place. It's very incoherent, and I'm having so much fun watching it. I don't know what it is about this show in particular that makes that scratches that itch for me. I'd have to watch it maybe one more time after it's all done, and all consecutively, and then give you the rundown afterwards. But I kind of like it, and I don't really know why. I'm not too sure why. But what else? What else I've been on? I will be on the Transformers rewatch. I've seen all those movies enough times to know that I really only like 2 of them. And that is the first one, which I think is just genuinely pretty good. It's a solid film. And then there's Transformers 3, which is just Optimus committing war crimes for 2.5 hours. And I think it's fucking hilarious. It is one of the funniest movies of all time. And
are you gonna include? I think it's different. Are you also gonna do the Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast?
It's a good question. I'll have to ask him. But
because I watched those and I like those.
I've watched them. I've liked them both, especially Bumblebee. It was a very character-driven narrative.
Yes.
I think it worked.
I think Bumblebee is probably the best.
Yeah, I think it's a bit better than the first Transformers film. I think as a start to finish, just as a movie, looking at it through a critical lens, I do think it is the best movie of them all.
And I liked visually just how the Transformers looked. I thought they were a little more cartoony in a way that I liked.
Yeah, they definitely were a little more faithful to the original designs, and I think that was really nice. Even in Rise of the Beast as well, they were a little more faithful too, as well, to the original designs, which was really cool. So I don't know. We'll see what we'll do. But new Lil Yachty album came out on Friday. It's a collab between him and James Blake, and it was really good. It was a little soulful, R&B, but there were still some neo psychedelia elements in it, just like Yachty's last album. And I don't know that I like it quite as much as I liked Yachty's last album, but I really
liked Yachty's last album.
I know you did. I remember. I do recommend the new one. It's very good, and I like James Blake as well. So I think you'll like this. I think you'll enjoy this. I don't know that it's a little different from the last one. I don't know that I like it quite as much, but I definitely liked it, and I would recommend it. So that happened. I was on that too. I enjoyed that quite a bit. And I don't know if I have much else to report. I think that might be it.
Well, then for me, you talked a little bit about the NBA and what's been going on. My Dallas Mavericks went out and got Klay Thompson. He's not the Klay that he has been, but give Klay the open looks that Luka's going to generate, that Kyrie's going to generate. We just were in the finals, and I honest to God think we've gotten better in this offseason.
Known Titans fan, by the way, Klay Thompson. Big Titans fan.
But you wanted to sleep. Oh, you awake now, but you just wanted to sleep.
I'm awake for the fact that he's a Titans fan. I don't know. That's it. That's about it. Now, I think the Celtics-Shaq comparisons are a little overblown here. I think people just want to post the meme.
The comparison should be like
Thompson
Ray Allen with the Heat or the Celtics when he's just later stage. He's really just kind of the shooter.
This isn't Klay Thompson scoring 60 with 11 dribbles, Klay Thompson, but this also probably won't be 0-10 in elimination game, Klay Thompson.
Yes.
I'm not expecting that guy all season either.
We're going to see elite shooter Klay Thompson, I think, though.
Yeah.
He's going to,
he's going to have a little more of a defined role than, he was a number 2, and he's definitely the number 3 here, clearly, in Dallas. But I think at this point in his career, that's good for him.
Yes.
So I think it's going to, especially the way, like you said, with Kyrie and Luka playing on the ball, what they're going to do for Klay Thompson off the ball is going to be impactful.
Also, I think Klay is still a good defender. He fell off defensively to a degree, but he was like an elite defender before. Now he's just good.
Yeah.
And the Mavs had a great defense after the trade deadline, and
they sure did.
I think they'll be better offensively. They'll probably be worse defensively than that, but I think overall as a team, I still think we got better.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Like the other moves we made, Quentin Grimes, Najee Marshall, I think is his name. We'll see. I'm excited for next season. Can't wait. That, and then I need to catch up on Go Loser Ranger. I'm a couple episodes behind. What else? feel like what I want to be on, and I'll probably start, is the Superman cartoon, like My Adventures with Superman. I've heard nothing but good things about, so I want to check that out. Because all of the and what I'll be on in a year from now will be the James Gunn Superman movie. Been seeing the set photos. As soon as James Gunn was announced to be heading DC, I was hyped. Once he said what he was going to be doing with Superman, I got even more excited. Seeing the set photos, I cannot fucking wait to see Superman done right.
My only complaint so far from the set photos, I think this just released today, that Green Lantern suit looks god-awful.
I've heard that about these suits, but they're like sponsored by like Maxwell Lord, who's like a villain. So they're not going to be their final suits. That's one thing. And also that's like they're going to be, I think there'll be a revelation of like, oh, we're working for a bad guy. So it's like maybe they don't need the suits to look good. But anyways, also I'm always like, let me see it fully.
Well, but also like I don't know, the Guy Gardner suit kind of goes hard. So it's like it's kind of a weird juxtaposition because like I don't know, it doesn't look great on Green Lantern. I like it a lot on Guy Gardner. I don't know. But anywho, I think the Superman suit looks fantastic.
Yes, I love that. I love the way Mr. Terrific looks.
I like how Clark Kent looks as well. I like that he looks very distinctly different from Superman because he's supposed to.
Yes.
That's the whole idea. Like everybody's always like, you could easily tell. It'd take one day in real life to figure out who Superman really is. The idea with Superman, first of all, is that there is no secret identity because you're looking right at him. You know what I mean? So if you like, you're not going to be looking for, who is this really? Because he's showing his face. He's showing you who he is. So you're not going to look at Clark Kent hunched over, face looking different, like glasses on. Like you're not going to be looking at Clark Kent.
The way he speaks, the lack of confidence he exudes
Superman.
as Clark Kent.
They're just not the same guy.
Yeah.
They're not. They're very different. It's intentionally so different. And the idea with Superman, again, is that there is no, you wouldn't assume there is a secret identity because
I've heard that too, that the people in Metropolis don't think he has one, that he just is
because
Superman
he doesn't wear a mask. He's not trying to hide anything, or at least you don't think he is. But anywho, yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait for that Superman movie. It's gonna be so fucking good.
Yes, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for the Batman 2 with Rob Bat. He's already my favorite Batman live action ever.
Absolutely.
And I just need one more movie for me to comfortably claim him as the greatest.
Speaking of the Batman, though, I do have something fun. So,
yes.
What do you call it? Sabrina Carpenter, right? Her music been going off lately. Sabrina Carpenter is dating Barry Keoghan,
right?
Who played the Joker in the post-credit scene. Let
me see what you say first before if I see this as the appropriate time to interject it.
This isn't actually like movie related. But I saw because I'm bringing up Sabrina Carpenter for a reason here. But Barry Keoghan is Irish. That needs to be known. He is Irish.
Right.
And so somebody tweeted Sabrina going, "Hey, so who's the Joker?" And Barry's answer being, "He's sort of like an evil person." And I couldn't stop saying this out loud to myself for like 3 days. I would be driving in my car and I'd just be like, he's sort of like an evil person, and I couldn't stop. I don't know what's so fun about that to me. I just didn't expect to be like, who the fuck came up with this shit? Like, you're just playing on the fact that he's Irish. That's literally all it is. He's just Irish. But and I'm sure Sabrina Carpenter probably knows who the Joker is. Who the fuck doesn't know who the Joker is? But anywho, he's sort of like an evil person. For those of you who don't know, he's sort of like an evil person.
All I was going to interject was that for the Matt Reeves thing, and that their Joker, at first I didn't want to see the Joker in it because I was just like, we've seen the Joker enough. I'm kind of jokered out. I can go without it. But then I saw the deleted scene, and I was like, I actually really fuck with their dynamic a lot, and I really do want to see more of this now.
Yeah.
And then I also was like, Robert Pattinson might be my favorite Batman. Do I really want to see my favorite Batman not interact with the Joker? That's fucking dumb.
Yeah, I want to see it eventually.
Yeah. Doesn't need to be the main villain of the next movie.
I don't know if it's going to be this next film. It might not be until the third movie. Or he might be in this one and not.
He'll be in it.
It would be a crazy subversion if the Joker is like in it and he is a prevalent factor, but he's not the main antagonist.
Yeah, I think he'll be in it to some varying degree, but
yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't put him in the post-credit scene just to not have him at all in the next movie.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing like a Thanos type thing where he just kind of pops in every now and again. But I don't think they're setting up don't think it's like that.
Excuse me. Long play setup, I think they could, but what I want to start seeing is I want to see maybe not fully in this next one, but I want to see this Batman adopt a child.
I want to see him adopt a child. I want to see Mr. Freeze.
That's what everyone wants, and I'm right there with you.
I want to see Mr. Freeze, and I want. If we're gonna continue the theme of playing Nirvana songs at the beginning of a Batman film, I think Something in the Way was perfect.
Yes.
I think Heart-Shaped Box would be brilliant for a movie with Mr. Freeze.
If
you're doing Mr. Freeze, Heart-Shaped Box would be peak. That would be absolutely perfect. So, and I could probably compile a list of like best Nirvana song for each Batman villain to use in the subsequent films. But if we're talking Mr. Freeze, I think Heart-Shaped Box is easily what takes the cake here.
And speaking of like Matt Reeves, because he's behind the Batman Caped Crusader.
Yeah.
New cartoon I want to see. Because I
didn't know he was behind that as well. That's awesome.
He is, yeah. And apparently
put Matt Reeves in charge of all the Batman shit.
And apparently he's got a preferred time for when Batman is Batman when a project picks up. Because apparently this Batman has only been Batman. He's only weeks into his career.
Ooh. Now, is this canon to the Reeves verse, or is this a separate entity? You know, it's animated, but it's like...
I'm going to guess separate, but let me...
Okay. It'd be kind of cool if that... Because if he's only weeks in, this could be a prequel to The Batman. Because that's only like, 2 years or a year and a half or a year, whatever, into his career. He's short in his career.
Batman is so early in his career that in the first episode, he's still an urban myth. He added that Caped Crusader is more like week 2 than year 1.
Okay.
My guess is separate, but I'll look it up.
Well, because the show is called Caped Crusader, and I don't like... What do you call it? I don't think he adopted the Batman moniker until this most recent movie.
Right.
Because he was still just like Vengeance. Yeah. So he could very well be Caped Crusader in this show, and then maybe by the end of the show, that's when he becomes Vengeance, and then he becomes the Batman, later on. But it could also be separate. I could just be spewing bullshit. But I don't know. If Matt Reeves is in charge of it, it's interesting to wonder whether or not it's canon to the Reeves verse, or if it's a separate entity.
It looks like it's its own thing.
Which is honestly the ideal option.
I'd have to rewatch the trailer. I bet those characters that'll pop up that we just have to go, oh yeah, no, they're not doing that. And
I think there are tie-in comics as well to the Matt Reeves films.
Well, the Penguin show that's going to be coming out.
Oh hell yeah, that's exciting.
There's at least that. They were going to do a GCPD show. I don't know if they still are.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? But yeah, anyways, I think that's everything for me.
Yeah, I think I'm about done as well. This was supposed to be a short episode, and we've gone for like 2 hours. A little more than that, probably.
We're sitting at 1:48.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit. Oh, I guess we did start a little late. Never mind.
We did.
But, good episode, though.
Great episode. I can't wait for next week's.
Next week's going to be a good one.
So excited for that segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Like this video, subscribe for more of this and for more of other stuff I've got coming up on the channel. If you want to know what's coming up on the channel, I usually preview stuff here. I talk about what I'm working on here usually. So if you want to be on the inside, subscribe and watch the pod. But that's going to do it for this one. The next one, as always, is going to be over on Avillion and Talks. It looks like this week we're getting a 2-for-1.
That's true. So somebody had his debit card information stolen. So somebody closed out his card, and somebody never updated his payment plan on Premiere Pro. So somebody needs to get going on the payment plan with Premiere Pro again, so that somebody, unnamed individual, can upload the video. So I'm gonna be doing that today after, as soon as this is done. But yeah, 2-for-1 special this week, I suppose.
Yeah, so go over to his channel to see it. That's gonna do it here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep gaming.
Bye-bye.